Hello, my name is Joyce and I'm now taking the CSE2 class. Today I want to explain question 5 in CSE2 exam 1 from spring 2014. The main ideas involved in these questions are the switch break statement and the application of printf. And firstly, I want to go over the questions and we can figure out what we need to do. Question 5. The following code compiles correctly in all cases. Assume the initial value of integer k is 16. The output of the code depends on the value of the integer j. What will be displayed if j equals to 1 or j equals to 4? These are the whole program that we see directly during the exam. And we can easily find that we have been tested the knowledge of switch, case, break, statement, the application of system.out.printf, and we have maybe the only little trick that involved in this problem is the system.out.print. And before we actually doing these questions, I want to go over these three concepts with you guys. Firstly, the switch statement. We have learned this switch statement in the chapter 3 selection, and a switch statement executes statements based on the value of a variable or an expression. It's just like a conversion form of the if statement, and the general form of that is switch expression and then case value 1. If the expression equals to value 1, it will print the statement 1 and then it break out of the switch statement. While if this expression equals to value 2, it will then display the statement 2 and then it will break out of the switch statement. However, there's a case that the expression cannot fit into either of these case values, so it will fit into the default situation, and then the statement for default will be displayed on the screen. However, the keyword break is optional. The break statement immediately ends the switch statement. But we may wonder what will happen if we delete one break statement. So we can do like this. If we delete this break statement and we run the program, when the expression equals to value 1, it will then print the statement 1. However, since there's no break statement there, so it will continue to statement 2 and then it makes a break and it will break out of the switch statement and the program continues to other things outside the switch statement. The second concept that I want to mention is the system.out.print. Printf. It is always used to format console output, and the general form is a %5.2f. In this situation, the f means floating point number, and the 5 means the number should covers 5 spaces and has 2 decimal places. And the %5d means the d means decimal number here, so it is, in other words, it is written in integer, and so the %5d means the integer that has at least 5 spaces. However, when the spaces are not enough, for example, we have a 6-digit integer number, so at this time the system will add one more spaces automatically. And what I want to mention, the next point is I think it's a little trick in this problem, is the system.out.print. Unlike the system.out.print line, the print means the next statement print on the same line after the earlier statement, and the print line means the next statement print on the next line after the earlier statement. After introducing these three concepts, we should do the questions. I have written the whole program on the cloud line before, and we can see that initial value of the k is 16, and for the question 1, we're asked what will be printed if the j equals to 1. So we can do it now. When j equals to 1 and the switch case j, so the j fit into the case 1, so it will system.out.print the 1 plus space, and the k now equals to 16 divided by 2 is 8. Why? Since there's no break statement there, so it will continue to this statement. So it will print 2 and space. Notice that since this is a print but not print line here, so the 2 will keep in the same line as the 1. And now the k is the remainder when 8 divided by 5, so k is now 3. And since there's either no break statement there, so we should write 3 space forward. And what is about k now is k is equal to 3 minus 4 is minus 1. And then we make a break statement and we break out of the switch statement, and we should print this statement. What is k equal to? Since the k is equal to %2.2f, so it means the k is now casting into a double value in floating number form, and the k value should contains at least 2 spaces and it contains 2 decimal places, so we can write like this: k equals to minus 1.00. And now we can test whether we do correct or incorrect. We open new terminal and split it into 2 columns. We list the folders, open the folder test and list, and just compile it. And operate it. We can see that we do it correctly. And then we should do the second one when j is equal to 4. We should first save it. When j equals to 4, since it not satisfies the case 1, 2, and 3, so it will go into the default part. Then, so it will display the default first, and then the k is equal to k plus k times 5, so k is now equal to 80. And then we will also write k into a floating point number, and it is now casted into double value. So we should write k equals to 80.00, and we can check either. We first compile it, since we do some Java test. Then we get the correct output that the default k equals to 80.00. After finishing this problem, I want to mention that I think the misconceptions that involved in these questions. I think firstly is the switch statement, and I think this is all related with the break statement, since during this program there's no break statement on either case 1 and case 2, so we continue this statement until 3 and then break outside the switch statement. And also the misconception we make is about printf. We should be careful about that. We should be careful about how many spaces we need to write and how many these decimal numbers places that we need to write either. And another point that I want to mention is the system.out.print. We should be careful about this either because if we write 9 by 9, it will be wrong in these cases. That's all I want to say about question 5. Thank you. This is Joyce and this is CSE2. Thank you for watching the video.